Hello everyone, this is Tribecast episode 59 and my name is Marina. This week we'll hear two interviews. First, Petteri Kiuru will tell us about Proakatemia, and then we'll talk with Mohavi team about their experience of Red Brick Accelerator, doing business in the corona times, and being design and creative startup nowadays. This is Tribecast, my name is Marina. Please listen to these interviews. Tribecast. Hello, Petteri. Thank you for having time for this interview. Could you please first tell our listeners a few things about yourself?
Okay. Thanks. Hello, everybody, and thank you, Marina, for inviting me to this podcast. I'm very excited to be here. So, my name is Petteri Kiuru. I'm 29 years old, former construction worker, actually. I worked 5 years in the constructions, and after that, I felt like that, this is not a place for me to get retired from. So I thought that maybe a life-changing career change would be a nice thing to do. And after that, 4 years ago, I started to look for a different kind of career changes, that maybe I should go study or should I go somewhere else working. And then I actually stumbled on Proakatemia, which I'm studying right now. A little bit else about me. I'm a huge dog lover, huge music lover also. I play bass guitar since I was 11, and in these 3 years I started to practicing on ukulele, and one day I will also be able to play saxophone too. That is pretty much who I am right now. I'm an entrepreneur also in 2 different companies right now, and start becoming a team coach also.
Okay, team coach for Proakatemia.
Yeah, actually Proakatemia doesn't teach. They teach also team coaching, or if you want to learn about it, you can learn team coaching. But mainly Proakatemia is an entrepreneur and team leadership line of studies, and you become a bachelor of business in there.
Okay, I have recently learned that Proakatemia is part of TAMK, technically.
Yes, it is.
So how does the very beginning works? Do you apply specifically for Proakatemia? Do you come to TAMK and it turns out that you were now studying in Proakatemia and this kind of part? When can one join and what age and what are the requirements?
Yeah, okay. So you apply straight to Proakatemia. The application system starts like that. You need to send your CV and also do a 2-minute video interview of yourself and send those to that. That's the first application system. After those, the coaches of Proakatemia scores those, and you need to get enough points for the second application, which is a group interview and a short essay you need to write there. And usually they only take 160 people in the second application interviews. So when I applied, if I remember correctly, there was 270 or was it 220 applicants at that time, and only 160 got to the second period of applications, the group interview. So and from that, there's 40 people that has chosen. 40 to 50, it a little bit depends. When I started, I think that we had 42 students at that year on 2017. And basically, almost everybody can apply. You can, if you are, I think, over 18, is those kind of form that you need to have if that you can apply to university. You need to have the second period schools. I went to vocational school to study a construction worker, I think 2007 till 2010. And I think that my job experience was one of the things that helped me to get in also, that you need to have some kind of points, and you need to know actually how to speak and write Finnish. So, but after that, you are really good to go for everybody.
I would say that the numbers you told us are quite a competition. So what do you get for it? What people study there? I know that it's quite, it's not a usual school. It's not everyday school. So what can you learn and how the study process goes?
Yeah. Okay. The study process, actually I'm doing my thesis about this, not actually about this, like how to visualize the whole 3.5 year process. That is going to be a topic of my thesis. When you get in, it's a 3.5 years. The first half year you spend in the main campus on Kuntokatu. There is these basic courses you need to pass. You need to pass mathematics, jurisdiction, economics, and Swedish also, which is kind of pain in the ass almost for everybody. But you need to still pass because we are 2-language country. And after the first 4 months, 4.5 months, that first autumn semester is long. After that, you go to the Proakatemia. In the first half, we spend 1 day per week in Proakatemia to study also kind of like basic co-working and our community working sort of things and dialogue and how we learn and how we are working in a team and these kind of like really basics team learning and team working stuff. Also, there's a lot of different kind of business things, like how to make a business model canvas and these sort of things. There's a whole range of things, but really basic stuff. And when on January, after the first half year, we go to Proakatemia, and the coaches had a test for us, and after from the results of those tests, they divide us into 2 different teams. And after that, you are going to spend the rest of the 3 years with that team, and you need to form a real company, and after that you need to start making real business and learn by doing. That is the key element of Proakatemia. You don't have any more lecturers, you don't have exams or any kind of things. You are working in a company and you are learning by doing.
All right. One of the biggest issues for early stage company is money. So how does that fix? Is it like all students take their pocket money, or what's the idea?
For when we start, we usually Proakatemia teams put their own money. Every member needs to put like a founding money over there. I think that we did like 150 euros and counted in the 16. It's like a few thousand euros on your bank account. So you get the things going and flowing and you have a little bit of money over there. But of course it's super fast that you need to find projects. And at the beginning you you can't be a picky for the projects. You just need to take whatever there is to offer, like picking trash on the highway or something like that, or going to the store and make interviews.
So, and projects are offered by Proakatemia, like via mentors somehow, or do you just Google them, or you sit down and brainstorm? How do you get one? Where do you find one from?
Well, there's a few different kind of sources that we can find projects or things to do. Like the Proakatemia gets a lot of contacts. Like the companies are contacting straight to Proakatemia because they have already experienced that, okay, these students are really great of doing things, and they have always been like really happy for the results. But of course, there's not for a project for everybody from that source. So what an entrepreneur needs to know is that how to sell yourself. So you need to start selling, making those phone calls, those cold calls that are so difficult for a lot of people. I'm one of those people. I hate making cold calls. I want to go to meetings and project meetings and different kind of things, but the picking up the phone and calling for a CEO or buying manager at some big company and you don't know who is answering. But yeah, that is the one thing that we need to learn, that how to sell your competence, how to sell your company, and how to get projects with selling.
Okay, and what if a company that students of Proakatemia found, what if it fails after 3 years of study? So does it mean that they don't graduate? Does it mean that they...
Well, we haven't had any situation where a company inside the 3 years has gone to bankruptcy or anything. Actually, every single company has passed the 3 years, and we are really excited about that, of course, and really proud of every single company. And there has been over 20 companies already. But after we graduate, some companies are actually still alive, like Villivisio, which is the first company that has ever founded in Proakatemia, and it's still working after 20 years. They have an office space in Hämeenkatu, and but usually the companies just like we run them down, and maybe in the last 6 months when we are studying, we usually start founding our own companies, like with 1 or 2 persons companies, like this type of things.
Yeah, the classic startup, me, my friend, and our dog.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You mentioned that you're an entrepreneur in 2 companies.
Yeah.
Have you started those during your studies? Well, technically you have, but have one of those been your study project or something?
The first company is the company that I'm involved in, Proakatemia. This is the team company that we have and which we are learning. So, but illegally, I'm an entrepreneur in that company. So it's not you need to understand, of course, when we talk about Proakatemia, that we are students, we are studying in a university, but we are also entrepreneurs. We have a legally founded company that is actually making a real money over there.
Okay, so what do you do?
My team's projects, we have had several different kind of projects. The first one what we did was we made a marketing video and a research and testing wall for one client, which was really big project, and it was the first project that we got, so it was really like a huge success. Then we have made a few events, music events and events for other companies that they just hired us to do. Marketing shootings, like video shootings, photo shootings, different kind of innovation projects for a lot of companies. I think what we have done almost from 6 to 8, I think, innovation projects. That these kind of projects that our whole team is involved with, that the 16 students, and we innovate for our client's problem for 12 hours. The company has some kind of problem that he wants new things, new solutions to bring for that problem, and they hire us. We have 12-hour period. We are innovating the whole day using different kind of innovation tools and every kind of things, and researching data for that, and then we come up solutions for them, and we pitch those to the client.
All right. Then there is another company where you're involved, and spoiler alert, I know that you're doing it with Teemu Pinnamaki, who was our guest a few weeks ago. So what do you guys do there, and how is it going?
We last year when Teemu came from Peru to back home because he had a little incident, we were actually meeting with Teemu with different stuff. I was an assistant coach in Proakatemia, and Teemu was assistant coach like almost 3 years ago when I started in Proakatemia, and we worked together with Teemu a lot of that time. So naturally, I wanted to talk about a little bit assistant coach position, that what kind of things we do, and Teemu said that after that meeting, like we had a few beers here at Tribe, and we talked like 2.5 hours about the assistant coach and things and Proakatemia things. And after that when I was leaving, he was I asked him, okay, Teemu, what's your next move? What you're gonna do when you're back in Finland? Then was like, yeah, he's gonna found a company and start making the sweaters from alpaca wool. And he started like telling me about the quality of that fabric and that fiber, and the things that it's so economic and so really like a really high quality fabric to make clothing. And I was like super into it straight away. I was like, okay, Teemu, I want to be in that too. And well, after that, we have been like founding the company, like the basic idea, mission, vision, values, and business models, and different kind of things like how the manufacturing chain is going to work and these type of things. And a few months ago, we actually really started the company, and now we are in this period that we are going to test our suppliers, our factory that are accompanying with us, our partners in this. And I think that in few months we are going to have our products for sale to everybody, and these kind of like really high quality sweaters from 100% alpaca wool, which is allergic free. We are trying to do everything like really with green values and everything, because both of us we want to resolve our nature here, and we are really concerned about the global warming too, and this is something that we can do with our power to be an entrepreneurs, to make good products for people who have the same visions that we have and same kind of values, and really wants to like dig our products. So yeah, in a few months you can get these awesome sweaters.
Thank you very much for this interview, Petteri. Probably one very short last question. Under which brand should we look for the sweaters?
The name is Woolmark Finland, and the O is actually this kind of like Nordic O, which has a slash on it in the middle.
All right. So we'll be waiting for the sweaters. Thank you very much for the interview. Good luck with your thesis. After you explained it all so well about Proakatemia, I'm pretty sure you can write it in a nice way in your thesis paper, and have a nice rest of the week.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, we had a double demo day this year again for a second time. So Nordic Startup School and Red Brick Accelerator had their double demo day. And I think it's always cool not only to talk with the mentors and speakers and organizers, but to actually give the voice to the startups and startup entrepreneurs, explain, what are they doing and how are they doing and why are they doing it. Today we have Mohavi, which are technically my colleagues in a very broad sense of that, because as far as I got from what they do, they will explain now better. They are somewhere in the field of media and design and some kind of other stuff like that. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you very much for having time for this interview. Sorry that I kept you waiting a bit in the open space. Let's do the classic thing. Let's first introduce you to our listeners.
So hello, I'm Anthony Van Oostendorp. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Mohavi. I'm a bit of a technical artist, and I love to make pizza on my free time.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Teemu Niskanen. I am the creative director and co-founder of Mohavi. And I'm in charge of the Mohavi brand, as well as the visual sides of our client projects. And on my free time, I like to do fishing and cycling.
Well, hello there. My name is Pauli Ondruska, and I'm also a co-founder of Mohavi, and I'm audio lead of our company, and my responsibility is to invent really cool sounds and music. And on my free time, I like to play with double bass.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit prejudiced, and I'll start with my questions from the sound, like a sound person to sound person. You said that you invent sounds and music.
Yes.
Though I can understand how you can invent music or create music, whatever, I don't really understand how you can invent a sound. I mean, they're all kind of already invented.
Yeah, it's like, especially when it comes to these really interesting sounds like sci-fi sounds or otherworldly sounds like game sounds, especially with video games, there are sounds that you cannot capture from the real world. Those sounds need to be created artificially, whether using like real elements or like the elements that are already existing, but you are creating by combining these different sounds together a new sound.
Okay, so next time we hear in one of the local games, for example, in by Random Portion guys, some alien crying, that's probably you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, what other services does your company offer to customers, and why are they important and valuable in your understanding?
So our motto is that we make interactive things, and I know that it can be hard to explain that first to people, but when we always start to explain it, like in the sense that if you use a smartphone, all those apps, websites you used, all of those are interactive things, and that's basically what we do. So whether it be websites, apps, and even video games as well, and we all have a video game background, so we know a thing or two about game design, and we also have our personal interests, like some are into websites and some are into photography as well. So we've used all of those skills that we have and combined them into this one great service where we can offer a multitude of interactive services.
Why with all those skills you don't make games, but you make some kind of supportive product for it?
Well, we do kind of have like a passion for game development, but at the same time, that's not always what a client project wants. But a lot of the skills involved in making games kind of benefit all of the other things that we can make. So if they want a website, we think about it in more depth of like, how are they going to actually interact with the website? What can be a little bit more fun? What can actually get the user to engage with the website, for example?
What kind of fun can you put in the website besides some kind of weird bot which doesn't really work?
We like to think of like, how can you like showcase something that you can do? So, or how can you make it a little bit more interactive? And if you notice something moving, or if you see more about an animation, it's kind of like makes it to where you actually want to click on something. You want to learn more.
Will it be you to ask this kind of question? How did the company start?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we kind of got together to work on a client project even before we wanted to found the company. And it kind of went really well, like us working together. And that's where we really knew that we wanted to start a company and continue to do what we're doing and find more client projects. And more people heard about us and more people wanted to work with us. And it's kind of like a perfect time to start working on forming a company.
Right. The company seems to me pretty independent and well established. Like you have the business idea and it's not a prototype, it's a working thing. Like you already have paying clients as far as I understand. Yeah. Why did you come to Red Brick Accelerator?
Well, we really wanted to solidify our business idea of exactly what we wanted to do marketing-wise and our brand. So, yeah, we can just develop games and we can try to think of our own stuff and try to get our own funding, but we also wanted to do client projects to really build a company and maybe even be able to scale later on. And Red Brick kind of helped us solidify who our client base could be and what we're going to do in the future.
And do you feel that it helped?
Yeah, Red Brick definitely helped a lot. It was very nice to meet a lot of mentors. Mirza was very helpful to us. Anytime we had questions, he even went out of his way to kind of find us extra help, like we wanted legal help. see what kind of like contracts we want to find, and he found someone for us to talk to.
Okay. Also, one specific thing about this batch of Red Brick was that it started online. Pretty much all of it went online. And I know that a few companies, a few entrepreneurs, they're kind of skeptical about going online for online services because it doesn't have the right feeling, the right vibe, the right atmosphere, whatever. You basically can play with your smartphone under the table while, talking to people or whatever, hang around in your pajamas, which all of us did. In your feeling and understanding, is it still worth to wait while COVID dies and we can still go back to offline accelerators or incubators or workshops, or was this experience fully positive for you?
I think it was fully positive for me, and I think even for the company, because it was really nice that once it went online, that we could all participate, like no matter where we were, even if we're busy with a project that we're working on. It's just that 2 hours. There was no travel time. I guess that's kind of the benefit of remote work as well. You don't have any of those real life restrictions or complications. But at the same time, not seeing people in person is also, it can be problematic, but it's always something that you can work around.
So I would add to that, I agree with Anthony, and as well, I think that personally I feel that when we want to exchange ideas, when we want to come up with new solutions to problems, that's when we should be face-to-face together in a room discussing these things. And I believe all these workshops that we had before we went online, they were, I think, much better when they were face-to-face. But when it comes like lectures where you teach stuff, that can be done remotely or online. But when you need to discuss ideas and refine those ideas, I think personally, I feel it's much better to be face-to-face and get to see the people you will work with and then exchange those ideas.
So especially for me, because I was like in exchange studies in Netherlands, this was like really good opportunity for me actually participate on this like red brick. So actually I got a lot of things from it, and this, especially because it was online, the thing was that I could participate between like online lessons that I had during my exchange studies also. So for me, that was really beneficial.
And when you create a product, whether it's a website or some cool sound or some other creative, supportive thing, is it important for you, just for me to understand how it works and for our listeners, they get curious, is it important for you to meet the customer personally? Or would you be happy with just having the technical assignment on the email, do us this and that and that? Does it have any kind of difference for you?
Well, for me, like even if we don't meet in person, it's really important to come face to face, whether that be with the webcam or not, and like get what they really want, because you can get all the technical details, but there's always something that's not written down properly, or there's a little bit of details that you would have to remake if it was just all written down and all technical information, unless they truly know exactly what they want. But I don't think I've ever had a customer that knows exactly what they want once they see their product start to come to life.
So customers don't really know what they want, and your task also includes figuring out what they want for them together with them.
Yeah. It's basically like make what the customer wants, not what they ask for.
Okay. Is it your company's?
No, definitely not. It's just something that kind of like when it comes to all these creative things, it's you kind of show what you think is good, and if it aligns in their same mindset, it's kind of, goes in the right path. Make something that is actually really worthwhile. Would
you go like in a completely opposite direction? Like if a company is selling, I don't know, coffins, and they come to you and say, "Hey, I want a website which will be all bright and pink and I don't know, something like cheerful." Would you create for them something which is more appropriate to the product in your understanding, or would you still say, "Okay, whatever, you pay me"?
Personally, and I think Anthony and all the others agree that we would first prefer or like make our own suggestion as to how we think it should be. But then of course, if the client, if they still want their desired thing, how they want it wanted it to look, then of course we're not going to like oblige and not say like no. Like, so of course we do accept this, but I think as a service, it's part of our job to also like suggest and include improvements and new ideas. So we come up with new suggestions, and then if they still don't like them, then we go with the client ones.
Probably I have one last question for today. I actually missed very much the possibility of talking to people live for a podcast during the quarantine. We had all offline recordings. So I tried not to talk too much about COVID, but now we can all meet again. So let's talk about the crisis. Do you feel that there are any major changes for your company because of the corona quarantine and all that? And what are those?
Well, for us, actually, the pandemic didn't really change that much because we did have this one space where we always usually came together to work on stuff, but mostly we did our stuff online anyways. So we used Discord for our like day-to-day exchange, and that's where we change our ideas and work on projects. So we already were mostly online doing stuff. But now, since the pandemic came, now we're like fully almost online. And I think not really that much has happened, but I still would like to like, meet with people or our colleagues. And like I said before, like changing ideas and solving problems face-to-face is still the way I prefer to do things.
Yeah, so like working remotely, it's been pretty natural for us because like Demo said that we kind of already were working that way, and I think it's an important lesson for like everyone who wants to think of a new way to work. It's like that immediate adapting, and it's kind of like COVID kind of like forced a lot of companies to see a new viewpoint, and I almost wish that we were a bit more set up so we could offer more help to more companies, because we were already kind of like in that mindset of like it's good to be completely online and interactive and all that stuff, and making your company work in a nicer way online is always a benefit.
And if a local company or a company from Finland in general, because as far as I understand, you're pretty open to other parts of Finland in co-work and maybe even abroad. So if some of our listening company or listening entrepreneur feels like, okay, I should go now more online, I should talk to these guys, so maybe I should have some new features in my product, how can they contact you? Where can they find you?
They can contact us through our website or email. Our website's mohavi.co, and our email is hello@mohavi.co.
Okay. Probably one last question. I should have asked it in the beginning, but just thought of it. What does the company name mean?
Mohavi is actually the desert that I'm from, kind of spelled inside of a Finnish way. So it's kind of like brings my background in. We thought a long time of what our name could and should be, and Mohavi was the winner.
All right. Thank you very much for this interview. I hope your company will continue growing, and maybe when we start going second round for all the local companies, we can talk again. Otherwise, hopefully we'll see you around Tribe at other events, because this is one place where people can meet nowadays when we're allowed to meet again, and network and meet new clients and partners and so on. Thank you very much for your time and effort having this interview, and have a nice rest of the week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening. This have been Tribecast, episode 59. My name is Marina, and me and Harry would like to let you know that from next week we are going on a holiday. Please listen to the episodes you missed in your favorite listening platform. Have a nice summer, everybody, and stay warm and tuned. Tribecast.